Before we get started, of course, this is Ask Dave Fennoy Anything, and we do it every Wednesday. And forgive me for being, I'm 1 minute late here. I had a Skype student until 3 or 4 minutes ago. And then I had to quickly get all this set up and go.
Yeah.
But here I am, and just like always, we're going to do this. And hello, Facebook friends, and hello everybody on GoToWebinar. Get your questions ready. I'm looking forward to answering them, but I wanted to talk about a couple of things. One, if you don't know, I was on Saturday Night Live this week. They did a spoof of the TV show, the hit show on NBC, This Is Us, called This Is US. And I needed to give a read that matched the style and feel of the promo voice that does the promos for This Is Us. The gig came kind of last minute. Friday sometime I got an audition to do it, did the audition, sent it in, thought that, oh yeah, well I'll probably, if I get this thing, I'll hear about it before 6 or 7 in the evening. Didn't hear anything and assumed, well, yeah, it would have been nice, but that isn't going to happen. And Saturday morning, got up, walked my dogs, had breakfast, was kind of chilling, kicking it. So, let me look at my email. Whoa! They not only they booked me, they got changes, and they want this stuff now. So I did the job, and it went on, and nice paycheck for a little bit of work. But as much as I'm very proud of it, and I let people know that it was going to be on, this is not the kind of work that is going to, that you can retire on, that you can make a living on. This was a perhaps once in a lifetime dream spot to be on Saturday Night Live. You want these gigs; they're great, but you
just in case we go watch the video. When does it come on?
Well, the show came on Saturday night, but you can go to
When is the 90 minutes?
I don't know exactly when, but you can go to YouTube and watch the bit. If you go to YouTube and pull up, or my Facebook page, and if you go to YouTube and pull up SNL, This Is Us.
Okay.
You'll be able to see it. But my point is, you want to have gigs like this, but you build a career on those gigs that you're the voice of this store, or this car dealership, or this small radio station, and then several radio stations, and that funeral home over there, and that repeat business that may not seem exciting. That's where a career is made. It's great when you become the voice of a network. That's a really career move, but there are very few of those jobs. So I encourage you to always be looking for new business. And when the pearls fall into your lap, like this Saturday Night Live job fell into my lap, be happy about it, celebrate it, let your friends know about it, but also realize it's a lot of those not nearly as interesting jobs put together that make a good career.
Yeah. So now again, I don't know, and I'm sure other people are thinking the same thing. How much work did you do, and give us an approximate dollar amount?
I don't like to talk about money, but it was scale, so it's in the neighborhood of $1,000.
Yeah.
And I had sent an audition the day before. I probably spent, I don't know, half an hour, 45 minutes redoing it, because I'd sent it to them in an MP3, and I decided I would send them better quality sound. So I sent a wave. So I went back through the script, redid it again, and I also gave them an ABC, which is three takes of each line. So they had some choices. And then of course, throughout the day, there were several changes. So I wasn't tied to my studio all day, but I couldn't go too far. So I went out and had some lunch, did a couple other things, ran some errands, but I'd come back, and the closer I got to 7, the more changes there were. And I also would have to say that the script was about 3 times longer than what they used. And going back over it, there were some jokes that were kind of, I see why they didn't use that. They didn't use my favorite joke in it. I'm not going to tell you what it is. Because just like they do Family Feud and different bits over and over, this Is Us thing could have some legs. So this could happen again in a week or 2 or 3. So we'll see. We'll see.
Got it. Well, that's good to hear. I mean, so now were you, did you then want to stay up and watch it as it aired?
I did, but I also recorded. Well, the funny part is I told him, look, how close are we? Because I got a thing to do. I went to a friend of mine's birthday party at about 8, and I didn't stay long. The party was going to be ending about 11, and I left a little before that, and I got home in time to sit down and watch it.
Nice.
Oh, so and I didn't know when it was going to show up or whatever, but once again, feather in the cap. You want these kinds of things, but you build a career on, just normal everyday stuff. Anyway, you got a question for me?
Why don't you give us a quick summary of VO Atlanta and what happened there?
Wow. Well, let me just say, if you are taking the voiceover business seriously, you should have been there, or you should be there next year. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Not only did we have some of the best VO coaches for every genre, but we also had very good coaches for how to build a business, how to find clients, how to contact clients, how to talk to clients, how to bill for your work. There are people who bill by the finished hour, people who bill by the word, by the page, different ways of billing and what ways work and what are the tricks of, say, billing by the word. You've got that Word document, but you have to realize the Word document doesn't count everything quite accurately. As a matter of fact, some things it forgets to put in. So a lot of tips from every genre and how to do your business and how to do the technical thing, how to build your studio, what microphones work for you, how to find a microphone that works for you, that kind of thing. And 4 days of it, lots of contacts, and being in a crowd of people who are going through exactly what you are going through.
Were you there all 4 days?
I was there all 4 days. I flew in Thursday morning and was there I didn't leave until Monday. And a good time time was had by all. What's that?
Good. Oh, no, I was saying line up your questions, but why don't you look at Facebook, see if you got anything going there.
Okay, I'm sure I do. Let's see.
Do they record those events, Dave?
There are some recordings. Not everything is recorded, but there are some recordings. Okay. Oh, I'm getting people who were there tell yes, marketing was huge this year. Cheers from Portugal, Umberto, and he was there. Let's see. Okay. I love that people are saying hello, but where are the questions, man?
I got one right here.
Okay, what you got?
Melvin, other than the one that Dave and Bill do usually, well, they did it last time. That conference was in November here in LA. Melvin wants to know, what do you think are the best VO conferences on the West Coast?
Well, first of all, what Bill and I do is not a conference. What Bill and I do is a weekend of instruction. And Bill teaches how to build your business, and I teach how to perform. Now, the other conference that I really like is That's Voiceover. They're both very good, but they're different. That's Voiceover happens on a Saturday, and on Sunday, the Voice Arts Awards, where we get a chance to pat ourselves on the back for the work we do as voice actors. There's some real good things, real good people to meet at That's Voiceover, but it's a day. It's all jam-packed into a day. Quality, 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 but once again, just a day. VO Atlanta, you have a lot more opportunity to meet people, talk to people, have a drink with people, sit down and dine with them, because it is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Excellent. Okay. Check YouTube, because we line up your questions here by putting them in the chat box, folks.
Okay, come on. Who's got questions?
Questions, please.
Okay. Last week I asked how agents and managers send your demos out. What I meant was, what format do they send? Audio? MP3s. MP3s are very good. Most of us don't have ears that will distinguish between an MP3, a WAV, or an AIFF file. MP3s are compressed files. They're much smaller than the WAV or AIFF files, so they're easy to send hither and yon. So MP3s, and as a matter of fact, sometimes...
Unless, of course, you're doing something for Saturday Night Live.
Well, they didn't ask me to send the files as WAV files. But I always feel like, oh, this is going for broadcast. Let me send you WAV files. We're talking about auditions, but caveat. Sometimes now, it happens at least a couple times a month. I will have done an audition on an MP3, and I try to do my auditions in time. Sometimes there's too much copy or whatever, but if I can make that audition in time. If it's a 30, it's going to be 29.5. If it's a 60, it's going to be 59.5. If I can do those auditions in time and send them, a lot of times I'll get the call from my agent, hey, you booked that thing. Oh, when's the session? Oh, they're just going to use your audition. MP3s will work just fine. Most people won't know, but you do have engineers sometimes. I'm sorry. I just don't use MP3s. I must have a WAV or AIFF file. So that answers that question. Hey, Brooke Jones, old buddy of mine, who we used to work together here in Los Angeles on the radio. Hey, Brooke. Do you work on marketing daily, and what tools do you use to market? Social media, email, etc. I don't have to market as much as some. I do some marketing. I'm old school in the sense that I have agents and a manager. So there's a certain amount of marketing that they do, but yes, I do market. Part of my marketing is staying in touch with clients, new and old. I have Dave Fennoy Cups. I send things to people I've worked with. But I am not marketing as much as some people who really are going after, say, the e-learning or corporate narration markets, where the work is work you find yourself. You can find some of it on the pay-to-play sites, but that's work that if you can dig those mines and mine that gold.
Would they have actually crucified the owner of Voices.com at VO Atlanta if he had been there?
Crucified, no, but people have gotten it that they aren't the most savory business in the world. They realize that, agents and a lot of voice actors have pulled their demos from them. They bought voicebank.net, which used to be the clearinghouse for auditions. That's where all auditions showed up for the agencies to go to. Well, they bought that, and now people have left that. I don't think they're out of business, but they haven't been able to be as successful in taking over the voiceover business as they might. Voices 1, 2, 3. If I had to choose between pay-to-play sites, I'd choose that one over voices.com.
What did you hear about? There was some great marketing idea that you hadn't heard before.
I didn't hear great new ideas. What I did hear was make your marketing as automatic as you can and as frequent as you can. We all are at the effect of marketing. I mean, I guarantee the toothpaste you use was advertised. You're probably sleeping on a mattress that was advertised. You're driving a car that was advertised. If you're drinking beer, it's beer that was advertised. And sometimes we seem to forget that, gee, that's how people find us. You want to do good work, but you still have to let people know that you are there, especially if you are working in the genres where there aren't that many agents, where you have to find the people who are producing e-learning and find the people who are producing corporate narration. E-learning and corporate narration is I think a $350 billion market. $350 billion. That's how much money is spent on e-learning and corporate NAIR these days. And it's going up. So there is money to be made, but you have to find the clients. They're not just going to find you because, let me search the internet and find a voice. No. Find who the production company is, and this is just your own legwork. Find who the production companies are for e-learning and for corporate narration. And once you have your ducks in a row, you need to have your website. They need to be able to hear your demos and see your demos if you have visual demos is right on that page. Know how to get in touch with you right on that page. And have some place where you have a rate card.
I've got a couple questions here, but if you want to take something from Facebook first.
Well, let's see what we got. Okay. Are you seeing more 6-second scripts on commercial demos, changes in length of TV promo demos, or documentary e-learning demos? There's some people who've done some 6-second demos. Usually you're using things like that as little emotion, little attitude, visits to, say, Voices 1, 2, 3, where they're searching for a voice. I'm looking for somebody Rye. So you have a little 6 seconds, it's Rye, and they find you that way. I'm not seeing this. I'm not seeing the 6-second scripts that James the Air was asking about. Hi, Dave. I'm from Ireland. I was wondering if you have any advice on international agency representation. Now, used to be it was really tough to get agents over the pond, but it's going back and forth this way. VO Atlanta was well populated by people from other countries, Central South America, Europe. Rachel Naylor and the VoiceOver Network gang was there, and several people from Europe and some of the people who were from Central and South America were able to find American agents. So yes, the possibilities are great. The internet has made the world much smaller, so that can be done.
Yeah, I got a question here for you.
Mm-hmm.
Thomas, I've seen some guys that are running 2 sets of self-powered studio monitors. I understand why. What I don't understand is the need, if we were just doing our own demos or completely doing all the production jobs or production for a job. So one set of speakers is okay, right?
Well, I only have one set of speakers. Some people are, audio snobs or they're studio geeks or whatever, and they want, a little pair of speakers right in front of them and a big pair of speakers. I want to get that mix right. That's up to you. It doesn't take that much to have a decent studio. You need a quiet room that's been treated so the sound doesn't bounce around. I have a semi-sophisticated situation here. I've got my computer here. It's mirrored to a screen in my booth. My mics are there. It's a whisper room that I bought used. And the reason I bought it used because it would have been $9,000 new. And I found a guy in Chicago selling it for $3,000. Cost me $1,400 to ship it to California. I still ended up getting it for half price. And what are you going to do with them? I mean, it's a modular booth. You put it together and it sits there. And there are people who can build their own booths. And my last house, I built my own studio in. But yeah, did I answer that question?
Yeah.
I've got one here. When do you know you need to change VO agents? If your agent is not sending you auditions and you're not booking, well, two things. If you're not booking and you haven't booked, say, in 6 months, something like that, chances are your agent is already thinking about, maybe this isn't working out. If you're feeling like it's not working out, like your agent doesn't want to talk to you, doesn't get you, isn't sending you the kind of copy that you think you can be successful with, then you should probably start looking for another agent. And the time to look for an agent is while you still have an agent. Don't let that agent drop you and then go looking, because then you've got the stink of being dropped. And, sometimes that might not be such a big deal, except you're feeling like, I don't have an agent right now. I got dropped. What do I do? And now you show up kind of needy. So, look, if you feel like it's time to go, it's probably time to go.
Okay, I got a question here. When there's a time limit on a VO job and you're having trouble fitting into that specific time limit given, where do you decide to gain time? Speed up throughout or pick up just a section of the copy?
Okay. Probably pick up a section of the copy. A lot of times you want to start a piece of copy. I think we're talking commercial copy here. You want to start a piece of copy just a little bit slower so the listener gets a chance to understand what you're talking about. What is the problem you're setting up, and then the solution. And maybe in that call to action, if you've got, phone numbers and addresses and that kind of thing, and legal, that's where you want to pick it up. Once you get into the sale part, pick it up there. The description of the problem, description of the solution, keep those as intelligible as possible. And when you get to the sales part with phone numbers and directions and addresses and that, they go through that. Pick it up there.
Take a Facebook question.
Are VO artists adding video images to their demos? Does it help or hurt? You know what? There's some people out there making video demos, and what they do is, say you've got a McDonald's spot, but it was for radio. Well, they just add some McDonald's footage and maybe, pull into that picture, or maybe it's video from a McDonald's or video of a car. Yeah.
We just did a whole seminar for 2 days called VOVideoDemo.com with a guy who syncs commercials into footage, and it looks like you were national.
Yeah, exactly. And although, it wasn't really what happened, it kind of sells you better. It kind of gives the feeling of bigger spots, national reach. And, somebody might be thinking, well, that's kind of not too honest, but, think about your first demo where nothing on it was an actual commercial, and you're just trying to show them what you can do. Same game. Okay. How do you feel about a rookie contacting local businesses that I hear advertising on local radio and offering to do spots for free? as practice. I heard someone mention this as an option. See more to get the ball rolling. I don't think you should offer professional services for free. Just, hey, let me do this for you for free. Well, for how long? How many spots? Do you ever get paid? I think you're selling yourself short. Now, I can understand going for a discount of some kind, but free, I'm not sure of. I spent a lot of years as a musician, and all the musicians out there will know that old thing. Yeah, well, we can't pay you much or anything, but think of the exposure you're going to get. If they are advertising, you've heard them online, you heard them on radio or television, they have paid money. They should continue to pay money. You might approach them, but I wouldn't do it for free.
Nope. Here's one. Could Dave do an example of a 6-second script?
Well, I don't have any 6-second scripts in front of me, but imagine, a short commercial. Hey, if you want to get rid of warts, buy this product, zap it on, and you're good.
Yep.
How do I get a Dave Fennoy cup? Oh, send me a note and we'll see what we can do. Oh, actually, you can get them online. And what's this? Not Cafe Press. It might be. Say again?
Etsy?
No, I think is it Cafe Press? I think it's Cafe Press.
Cafe Press.
Yeah.
Cafe Press.
If you go to my website, there's a tab at the top where you can buy stuff. Okay. Oh, Robert Clotworthy. Good talent. Steve Tom, great talent. And he sends me a note. Did you know that 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance? My buddy Steve Tom there, the gray-haired gentleman you see on those car insurance commercials. They're very funny. What mic and kit do you recommend for a new studio setup? Thank you. Well, the best mic that you can afford, there's some very good mics in that $200 to $400 range. I know people like the Rode, the Rode NT1. If I were going to buy a new microphone now and I were just starting out, I'd try to spend a little bit more money than that. I'd probably go for the AKG C214. It's a knockoff of the legendary AKG C414, but it only has one recording pattern, and that's for you. But it's a real nice mic, and I think you'd like that. I would suggest that. Do not go with a Blue Yeti or a Blue Snowball. Blue makes some really good, decent microphones, but you got to get up in the few $100 range before they get good. If you can afford $700, I'd find a nice used Neumann TLM 103. It is perhaps the most used microphone on the planet, even though its big brother, the U87, is better known. But you will find the TLM 103 everywhere. Great mic. Okay. Corporate Nair. Wow, I've always promoted these possibilities for my students, video producers, writers, but now realize that this is, of course, important for VO. It absolutely is. It has become a huge market. The internet has changed the world, and it certainly changed our business. I've mentioned this before, but we have high-profile work, and we have work that's not so high-profile. Can you make as much money in the not-so-high-profile work? Absolutely. Once again, $350 billion business in e-learning and corporate narration. Marketing yourself to them is a different animal than the high-profile work, which would be TV commercials, radio commercials, TV promos, animation, video games. That's more high profile. And although you can do some marketing there, having an agent or doing very well with one of the pay-to-play sites would be the way to go there. Hey, Tara. Michelle, Jay. What's up, Jay? Okay. As I'm scrolling up here, you got another question for me there?
I do not.
You do not. So are people just tuning in for my good looks?
Christine Britos. I did. Great seeing you. I had a quick question on the Whisper Room vocal booth. Mine is being delivered on 321, and this thing weighs a ton. Can it be unloaded with just a couple of people?
Couple of guys, or I don't know how strong you are as a woman. I put this one up, just me and a buddy of mine. You will need at least one other person. I would suggest if you can get 3, great. 4 might be too many. Sometimes you get confused with too many cooks in the kitchen. But you need at least 2. And, I know I am woman, hear me roar, but we guys tend to be stronger, at least physically. And I would, if you can, get a couple of guys to give you a hand with that.
Excellent. Okay, let me see. Other than that, those are.
Whoa.
Okay. Share saying, I'm preparing for VO to be my own income. However, I currently have health insurance for the family at my current job. What percentage should be allotted for insurance per month or year?
Well, that depends on where you live, what your program, what your plan is. Now, if you're in the union and you do enough work, you qualify for insurance. It's not free. Depending on how big your family is, it's probably in the neighborhood of $300 or $400 a quarter. But that's much, much lower than most insurances. If you're not a union person, I hear people spending as much as $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a year on insurance. That actually is more of a question for your insurance agent. For go to the websites that are offering insurance and find out what it will cost for you and your family.
Okay.
Okay. Hi, Dave. My 20-year-old son, who is terrific with character voices, really wants to get into video games. Where should he start? I can set him up with the audio gear. Hey, nice, Mom. He should take some classes. He should. One thing he can do, he can go to my website, and he can look over the webinars and classes that I've done. He can buy the whole package. And do a lot of work on his own.
We can go to voiceoverphd.com. Voiceoverphd.com.
Now, I typically recommend that people take classes before they take private lessons for a number of reasons. One, you can learn quite a bit from the successes and challenges of your fellow students, kind of get an idea of where you are in the process, and then go for private lessons. I do definitely teach, and I definitely teach voice acting for video games in a private coaching sessions. But I would really want to know, he's 20 years old. I'd rather see him take a couple classes first, or he could buy mine online and watch that for a while and take in as much free stuff as he can. Go to Bill DeWeese's website. Go to my website. Submerge yourself in the process in those videos that aren't going to cost you anything first, for a couple reasons. One, you kind of learn the language. Things won't be quite so new to you. You won't spend as much brain power trying to figure out exactly what's being said and do I understand this. So by the time you're actually spending money, you have a little grip on how it works and what's being said, and I think you'll probably move along faster. But what's that website again?
VoiceOverPhD.com. Repeat it so your Facebook folks can hear it.
VoiceOverPhD.com. You can find all my stuff there. All right. Dave, I work for a government agency who has asked me to do some of their phone system work. Since I'm already paid by the state, should I keep doing it? Now, have they asked you to do this as for free or just part of your job? Isn't this a new area? I don't know. I did meet a guy in Atlanta, though, who was working for corporate, wanted to do voiceover, and made a deal with them. And now what he does for his corporation is narration on everything they need, and is making a nice living at it. I would, if they had asked me to do that, I'd want to find out, well, can I make more money doing this? This is something new that's being added. What are you going to pay me? Good looks of... Oh, okay. But really, thank you. Well, thank you. I thought there was a question there, but it's just some nice words. As a SAG-AFTRA eligible actor, should my rate card be in line with SAG-AFTRA VO rates? Yes. 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 Yes, your rate card should be in line with SAG-AFTRA. Oh, Chris, if you were in VO, what would your... Oh, if you were in VO, I think you meant if I were not in VO, in VO, what would be your flip side to this occupation? College professor. I'd be teaching history someplace. How often do I get to the Shreveport area? A couple times a year. Got any more questions there?
I do not at the moment.
I think I have exhausted them here. But I want to say one other thing. I had a nice long conversation today with a guy I worked with here in Los Angeles who also was teaching at VO Atlanta, Zach. And he is a director. He's a voice actor. And we were talking about acting. And one of the things about voiceover acting for video games is it's now and it's now and it's now. There are no rehearsals. You get in character, and every time the mic comes on, you go. And Zach Hanks and I had a nice long conversation. And one of the things he brought, we were talking about, we were going deep. Into acting methods and styles and this writer and that writer and what did David Mamet say and so forth and so on. And it really comes down to two things for me. Remember when you were a kid and you were playing cops or robbers, cowboys and Indians? If you're from some other culture, you might have been playing some other game. But that kind of thing where you are pretending to be whatever it is you are, and you are having fun with it, you are enjoying it, you are not embarrassed by it, and you are giving your all to that character. Well, you have to bring that same kind of reckless abandon and joy to voiceover for video games, but in a more adult way. He brought up a word. We're talking about being a real character. Verisimilitude. Verisimilitude, which means the appearance of being real or true. you're not going to actually become those characters that we're playing, but you have to bring a performance that someone will believe, wow, you are that character. And that takes practice. It takes freeing yourself from enslavement to the words. You want to enslave the words, not the other way around. It takes really paying attention to people, watching performances on stage, on television, in movies, and how people, just in general, comport themselves. How do they talk? What are the nonverbals they use? What do they do when they're trying to come up with the words, when they're trying to think back on how many months, years ago it was, when they're talking to you but kind of really talking to themselves? Pay attention to how we as human beings communicate, because what we're trying to do is that. We're trying to play a character that's not us, but that is a real human, has real human feelings. So,
Good.
So if we,
call?
I was going to say, if we don't have any more questions, I will. We can call it a day, and of course,
We'll do it again next week.
say that again.
We'll do it again next week.
We'll do it again next weekend. Thank you, Facebook friends, for joining me and all your kind comments and questions. And thank you, folks who are joining us on GoToWebinar. And I'll see you next Wednesday.
Thanks, folks.
All right. See you guys.